Tell me about your connection to Karen Slattery.
Well, I went to Pope John Paul for high school for my freshman and sophomore year. I was a class of '88. I know she was a year ahead of me. So, but I remember her, in the halls, and her face is really unmistakable. She's a very beautiful, young woman. I didn't know her personally, but everybody that I've talked to that knows her, has said how beautiful and intelligent and just such a great person she was. So,
Tell me, you said, unmistakable is a word you used to
Sure.
describe her. Tell me what you remember of her face and her demeanor and how she walked the halls. Just tell me in detail what you
I don't
remember.
know if I can remember that specifically, just because it's been so long, right? But her face again. Once I went to look at the information or kind of found it, years later, and I was reminded again of all this, her face immediately, came to me, for remembering her, and a few friends that she had that I knew.
When her face pops to mind, what does it look like? Is it smiling? Is it sullen?
Smiling, yeah, smiling, yeah, happy, yeah.
What was she like? Again, you did a great job of just kind of telling me how that's amazing how her face popped to mind to me.
Right.
What was she like? How was she known around school?
Well, I know somebody that knew her well, that was on the diving team together. So I know that she was a diver, not a scuba diver, diver. And she was very, very good at it. And, she was just loved, very much by the people that did know her, that were close, So, I wasn't friends with her per se, right? So, I couldn't necessarily, comment on,
Yeah.
about, how she, particularly, acted or anything like that. Just that she was, a very good human being.
Had that reputation around school,
Right.
just a good person.
Absolutely.
Tell me how you remember, you were just a teenager at the time too, right?
Right.
How do you remember learning about what happened to Karen?
Yeah, I mean, that was scary. I mean, a lot of kids, I guess, their parents kind of kept them from the information and the news that was going on. And my parents did, and so I saw the news, and it just blew me away. That nothing like that had ever happened in Boca. That was a big deal. It might even have been the first murder. I'm pretty sure. I mean, back then, Boca was more of a sleepy kind of town. It's not anything like it is today. So, yeah, I don't. Yeah, it just was awful. It was an awful feeling. I remember that in my gut. And the horrific way that he committed this. The guy started off breaking into homes, and then he escalated, is the way that I see it, into the raping and the murder. Also, Georgiana Warden. So, very brutal attack. And even with Karen, with this guy stabbing her, I think it was 18 times. It's very personal to me,
As you're talking to me about this now as an adult, help me understand, what the teenage Andrew,
Well, I didn't have fear, because but definitely families with young daughters, and they definitely kept them home. They were very conscientious about where they were going, and a lot of these girls just didn't want to babysit, right? They didn't want to do anything like that. So yeah, just somber, feeling, and at school we had a big announcement about it. Not the details, of course, but
It's interesting you don't remember being fearful. I mean, it's
not
sad.
fearful, and only because it seemed like he was specifically targeting women, right? So yeah, I didn't have fear, just feelings of sadness, super sadness, for these, for Karen.
Was it confusing for you?
Like I said, not for me specifically. I don't feel that that I had any necessary confusion, other than, again, that's the first time anything like that had ever occurred near, let's say, that me and my family and everybody else that lived in Boca at the time. So again, it was just a different place back then, different time, and having that happen in such a brutal way. Again, I'm no expert, but thank God they caught the guy, because if they hadn't, this would have just kept happening over and over again. So
I can see it in your face, as you're kind of thinking back to that time when this was in your school community,
right.
happening to one of your peers. Have you thought about Karen Slattery over the years?
Yeah, and that's actually what made me search online for that article, and which was pretty detailed. It had a lot of information that at the time, again, from being so young, I wouldn't have had. Only the reports that I would see, on the TV or anything like that. So, and unfortunately, a lot of the information in that article wasn't correct. So a lot of people pointed that out to me, that I reached out on Facebook just to ask them as well, how did they feel, So, yeah.
And this happened, a long time ago. Right. What makes Karen Slattery come to mind for you? Is there something in particular that has made you think about her over the years? Like when you went to search out that article?
Yeah, just the uniqueness of the case. I'm a podcaster as well, and, I do a podcast about missing people, a little different, but, kind of in the same category. So that's what drew my interest, is remembering that. It kind of hit me, wow, Karen, I had forgotten about it. And so I said, I'm going to definitely do this, do it some justice. And now that everything seems to be fixed, in that article, and the new ones that are coming out, that the information is all accurate, is important.
So it's accurate that what happened to your peer, Karen Slattery,
right.
wasn't the motivation for, your future work in podcasts or the app, but it has brought
right.
her back to mind.
Right. Sure.
And you do have plans to maybe eventually do a podcast?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I'll be interested to hear when you publish
Sure.
that, for
That'd
sure.
be great.
This happened again when you were a teenager. You're an adult now. You think about this, you process this in different ways as an adult.
Right.
How are you feeling now? We're weeks away from the execution of Karen Slattery's killer. How are you feeling now?
I mean, some relief, that this guy is, finally, gonna receive the justice, that he deserves. And I'm not actually a very big proponent of the death penalty per se, just because, there are a lot of innocent people, that have unfortunately even been executed. But, this guy, and again, because it's personal, because it's local, and, somebody, again, that I went to school with, and so I just feel much differently about that this is what he deserves. So.
Is there anything else you want me to know, Andrew, about your connection to Karen, just how you're feeling come today as we're leading up to,
Right.
this final chapter in some ways of what happened to Karen. Is there anything else you want me to
And
know?
I had known that. I didn't realize until you had, mentioned to me that, his execution was coming up. So, yeah, that really, perked me. Yeah, perked me up, and
Let me ask you this
satisfaction.
too. I'm grateful that you agreed to talk with us, and you were very sure about it too. You said, yes, I want to meet you. I want to talk about what happened to Karen. What made you want to talk to me and revisit this? What happened to your peer all these years ago?
Well, yeah, it was just so interesting just to get, to get the call from you about it, and you mentioned, I guess some people had commented, that maybe to talk to me about it. And again, I'm no expert on the case, so, but yeah, when you mentioned about the feelings and everything that was going on, I felt I could at least do that some justice, and again, I didn't know her personally, but definitely, saw her around school and knew that, again, like I said, she was a very happy girl, very, very liked, by many people. And I think it was rough. It was so very rough for, again, like you mentioned, this was a long time ago. We were very, very young. So I think it affected probably people in a lot of different ways, right? Like I said, the young girls weren't babysitting anymore. Nobody could find a babysitter. And, and it was months and months that people were afraid, about this. And it took a long time, for things to settle down in Boca then. So,
Andrew, I think it says a lot that you didn't know her well. You just knew of her.
Right.
You remember her face. You remember how she was known around
Right.
school. And I think it says a lot that she has popped to mind over the years for you. You can only imagine, her family and those who were really close to her. Thank you for your time. Is there anything else you want me to know?
No, that's it. Maybe just about the podcast, just because of the good work that we are doing on that. And it's called the Once Was Lost podcast, or the Owl Once Was Lost podcast. I'm sorry, yeah, that's the podcast. But the application itself, helps find missing people. And it's just as many people as we get to download it, and we have a lot now. But, we need this to be homogeneous across the country, in every city and rural town. People get an alert immediately. It's just a very efficient way to do this.
Yeah.
It's like kind of like crowdsourcing, right?
Yeah, and the more people that are involved, the more success it could
Right.
have. And I think it's really interesting too that, that work, the work with the podcast and the app, although, it deals with missing persons,
Right.
It is still, paralleled to what happened to Karen
Exactly.
Slattery in some
Yes.
ways. And, here we are talking about it all today.
Yeah.
Andrew, I really appreciate your time.
Yeah, no worries.
Thank you.
Thank you.